I hit the go live button.
Oh, that means it's gotta be appropriate.
Yay, we're online. However, it's still showing
Heyo.
the wrong screen for some reason. Okay, it switched to what it should be. That was weird. Alright. I think it is time we introduce ourselves and we'll do a quick recap. I do apologize for the late start this evening. It probably also means we'll end up with a shorter game tonight than our usual, just because we all still have to be up at a reasonable time tomorrow.
Well, dang. Woo.
Anyway, I am Joey. I am the DM.
I'm Joseph. I'm playing Lucas.
I'm Dusty. I'm going to be playing Atrix.
I'm Sean. I'm going to be playing Rooklyn.
And unfortunately, our L'Inferno player, Delaney, has had to at least temporarily back out of being able to be here while they deal with some personal stuff. So they will not be joining us this evening, and I do not know when they will be able to come back. So, the recap from the last time, which was longer ago than I wish it was. Y'all had decided to investigate the airport.
Yeah.
Or the Skyport, depending on which map you look at and who you talk to. But
Scareport.
you took two of the guard from Raven's Hollow with you. They are currently outside the building you were in. But you all went inside. You investigated several buildings on the way there, some in better condition than others. Discovered crates full of a substance now identified as red mist that apparently makes you
Might
feel
take some of
incredible
that.
when you take it.
Yes. I have two of those.
Yes, you do. But yeah, you found several of those, interrogated some folks, threatened some folks.
Minorly.
Yeah, it is still a threat.
True.
Only taken
Eventually knocked some folks unconscious because you decided not to kill them when they would not turn, because apparently the person you were going to meet was scarier than you all.
Yes.
And then you decided to cut to the chase and head straight to the main tower, which you are currently in the waiting room of the lobby, as an individual had gone upstairs to fetch the lady of the tower, a Isla Seaton, which was one of the names that Sabastion had given you of a major power player in the city, specifically on the side of the councilman. And that's where we left off. You all were sitting there waiting for this individual to return. Was there anything you all wanted to do in that waiting time? Because we pretty much ended there.
So we're in like the waiting room of the lobby. So we're in our own separate little
Yeah.
room area. Okay.
Yeah. It's that, I don't know, say on the map. It's that like weirdly shaped room.
Curved.
It's
Yeah.
one of two that you saw entering this building.
Gotcha.
Like you can see out of it. You can see the main lobby.
Yeah.
It's more like a really nice VIP lounge at an airport. Like
Gotcha.
it's comfy in here. Like,
Maybe I'd just stay.
Maybe I'd
Like-
just sleep here now.
but no, because I had described this as being probably one of the best upkept buildings that you have been in so far. The tile work on the floor is still nice. The fountain is still working. And all that. Like, it is much nicer than most of the buildings you've been in. It's honestly much nicer than most of Hope Falls. Or, not Hope Falls, Raven's Hollow.
Different game.
No. Hope Falls is this game. Different city.
That was the
Wow.
first city.
Yeah.
Different location.
Different
Where
location.
we tackled a man.
Yeah,
or
where y'all tackled somebody for no real reason.
Right.
Oh, well, let's not get into that.
I threw a book at him or
No.
something.
Yeah.
Or a stick.
There
or
was-
stick
Holy
at-
water, I think, as
Holy
well.
water.
Holy.
There was a reason.
Anyway.
I'm gonna boost.
Well, do we
Sean's-
want to just wait for Buddy Boy?
Not what I wanted.
Yeah, it's my plan.
Yeah. Just kind of
Review,
take
please.
a load off.
Take load off, loosen the bootlaces.
Yeah.
Chillax.
All right. While you are relaxing, Brooklyn, it's weird. The time around you seems to slow down. Atrix and Lucas, they're still there. But when you look at them, it's almost like they're not moving. And that's when you hear a familiar voice. Hello there, Brooklyn. It's been a while since I've spoken with you. You know this to be the voice of your patron, the Archangel of Justice.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Been a hot minute.
It strikes you as strange that she's talking to you like this, as very rarely has she spoken to you outside of dreams in general. But this is the first time where everything around you has slowed. And that's when you see the slight shimmering outline of her actually appear in front of you. I am unaccustomed to being in a place such as this. But I felt the need to express concern. The individual in charge of this tower is unfortunately a stain on reality.
I can see that. I can see that.
But I am here to advise you that her strength is not to be underestimated, and attempting a straight-up assault on her, as much as I would enjoy seeing her dethroned, is unwise at the current moment. I suggest a more She kind of pauses for a moment as she tries to think of the right word. More indirect approach of dealing with her at this time. There are means in this tower for dealing with her. And there are plenty of other ways as well. I simply would advise against the direct approach, if you catch my meaning.
Yeah.
There's a
Makes
great
sense.
deal going on in this city, and kind of smiles. I think we will speak again soon. Before vanishing and everything returning to normal. Lucas and Atrix,
Yo!
there was a brief moment where everything in the room got oddly warm.
Ooh.
Toasty.
Not, like, uncomfortably, but this city's been rather chilly the entire time you've been here. This is the first time you've noticed a room that isn't actively trying to be heated having a warmth to it. But it was only for a split second, and then it went back to normal.
Alright, who farted?
Sorry, that was me. It's all the
Oh,
bread.
okay. Alright. Makes sense.
Ha. So anyway, there I was, sharpening my sword, and then, what was that warmth? Anyway.
A few more moments pass, and the individual you had spoken with initially, this kind of butler-like individual, comes back down the stairs, walks over to the waiting room, and the lady will see you now.
Lovely.
You come to us, or are we going to her?
She requests you join her upstairs.
All right.
Now, because this is something your characters know, this is a tall frickin' tower.
Yeah, lots of stairs.
Like, this is a skyscraper.
Is there an elevator we could take?
It's like a 20-foot or a 20-story tall building.
Is there just like a straight empty shaft I can just like fly up?
A dumbwaiter system or something?
He does
Not that
actually.
small.
He doesn't take you to one on this level. He takes you up the stairs to the second level, and there he walks you to what is a elevator system.
Oh, dope.
Like,
Oh, fan.
it's
Oh, thank
it's
you.
relatively old for what our real world interpretation of an elevator system would be like. But functionally, it is a crank elevator system that you can crank up and down to raise and lower people throughout the building. And there is one of those. You fought them in the gatehouse, and they're the things that were guarding the stairs. There's one there holding the crank that is dressed way nicer than all the guard ones have been. That is basically the bellhop of this elevator. And again, expression is completely blank. There's nothing going on apparently. But when you enter the elevator, provided you do, he will just start to slowly crank and take you up.
All right, let's go, guys.
Alright. You begin the ascent. It is relatively slow going, as it's powered
Boop.
by this one dude and a crank. But it beats walking. As time passes, you can see the different stops through the grate on the front of the elevator, the different floors. The first few seem like they were probably used as storehouses of some kind. Well, goods were being transported in and out through the tower. The next few after that are very dilapidated hotel-like hallways from what you can see. But apparently these have not been used very much as of late. After those, you start getting into the decks where ships are docked. And you can see out the different ships. Out each one of these. Or you can see bays that lead to different ships, I should say.
Are they like out in the open, or is it kind of like a hangar covered type?
So there are some smaller ones that are actually inside. Probably in here for like dry dock type repairs. But for the most part, what you see are these large rooms that are staging areas for these ships, with
Okay.
gangplanks and stuff going out to ships. And most of these ships on these lower levels don't look to be in particularly good shape. They're obviously good enough that they're still in the air, but they're probably not the fastest or sturdiest anymore. But as you ascend, you start to notice some of those undead, creepy whatever they are, with no face. Or no expression, I should say. Not no face.
Mhm.
They have a face. It just doesn't make any expression. And they are actively, like, moving around in these hangar bays, maintaining ships.
Okay.
Which none of you remember seeing any of the ships leave the entire time you have been here the last few days. But the ships are being maintained at this level. You also notice they are getting bigger. And you're starting to see the first ones with armament.
Oh, I don't like it. Someone's prepping an Air Force.
Well, I described basically an Air Force when you entered the city as sitting around this tower.
Yeah, but like an armed Air Force, and they're doing stuff to them. And
Well,
it's
one
like,
of them was a
now I can
dreadnought.
really see it. I would say now I can really see it, and it's like
And
pumping in Lucas's little
towards the
former Bandit
very
brain.
top, you see the floor that only has one ship connected to many
Ship.
dry docks. It's the Dreadnought.
Oh.
And looking at it up this close as you're going past, that ship could probably hold the entire population of Raven's Hollow.
You guys know how to fly?
Let's blow it up.
Nah, let's keep it.
Atrix, keep in mind, this is one of 4 known dreadnoughts in my world. There are 4 of these ships, counting the one you see as you're going past it in the elevator.
Who's got the
Oh, yeah.
TNT?
Bro, it's the new whip. It's the new whip. We're gonna take this thing and we're gonna level the Black City with it.
To be fair, that is what a dreadnought is for.
Yeah.
They were
Oh,
siege
yeah.
We
machines
can't be the ones responsible
built
for that.
for destroying
gonna
and
hurt the
sieging
innocent people.
cities.
We'll give them an appropriate amount of time to evacuate.
Where are they going to go?
The
They haven't been able-
Dreadnought?
They haven't been able to leave the Black City.
I will put them in the Dreadnought.
It's an option. But
We will turn
we-
all the innocent residents of the Black City innocent.
If there
Into
is
air
no
nomads.
Black City,
There's no
then
threat.
There's no threat.
But we got to learn how to fly
but
True.
and operate the massive amounts of what I would assume would be armaments on said Dreadnought
yeah,
roughly single-handedly, which
Yeah.
probably won't happen.
you can certainly try.
Nope.
can run really
I will never.
I'm not gonna
roll high
lie.
enough
If you
to do
make
that.
me write the stats for the dreadnought because you guys decided to steal it, I will be super happy.
All right, that's our objective.
Maybe in the future. Maybe not today.
But
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe
That's
not
not
right
the
now.
plan.
Yeah, I
a
I
little-
100%
for
do
I
that.
think
not
we're a
have
little
stats.
I think we're a little underpowered to steal a dreadnought right now.
Understaffed.
That too. That too. We
Yeah.
got to get all of Raven's Hollow on our side first.
Easy day.
But no,
I'm assuming we're continuing up.
you continue up one more floor.
Okay.
On this floor, you can see, well, the door's open. The little grate opens to let you out of the elevator. Yeah. And your guide, this butler, steps off and walks forward. This is... Think the Empire State Building's observation platform. There are
Oh,
fences around it
okay.
to prevent people from falling off,
That's disappointing.
but it is an observation state platform. And in the center of it is a oddly shaped stone lighthouse. And that's what he's walking towards right now.
Okay.
You can tell just from looking at it that whoever built this lighthouse is probably not the one who built the tower. The shape is different. The style of build is different.
Does it seem like older, or was it built with the tower?
From just the quick glance,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably older.
Perception check.
Go for it.
21.
21. As you look at it, like I said, you can tell that it's older.
Mm-hmm.
The stonework is different. The general design doesn't fit the same aesthetic as the tower. The tower is, for the most part, basically square, with certain places where it has balconies and stuff on it that allow for access to these ships.
Mhm.
This is 6-sided. It does like a typical lighthouse from the real world, where it starts at a big base and goes up and kind of narrows.
Yeah.
And then you can see from where you are the ring of another walkway around the top of it. But you can't see the actual light from where you are. But you all know what a lighthouse looks like. The part that strikes you, Atrix, as strange is there's a symbol carved above the entrance to the lighthouse.
What language?
There's no language. There's no writing. It's just
Oh,
a
it's just a
single
symbol.
symbol.
Do I recognize it?
It looks like... it will have just dropped into your...
The
stuff.
Strang symbol.
Yep.
Strang.
And you will now be able to see the lighthouse, so if I add anything else to the lighthouse, you should be able to get it as well. Yeah. That is the emblem that you see carved above the lighthouse entrance. And it's worn. It is contemporary with when that lighthouse was built.
Do I recognize it? Have I seen it before at all?
Roll me either history or religion, whichever one's higher for you.
They're both the same. Do history. 7.
Nope.
Damn. Okay. You said we're heading towards the lighthouse?
Yes.
I'm assuming I also see the symbol and can do a religion check on it.
If Atrix would have pointed it out, yes.
Hey, there's a symbol above the door.
Because he noticed it because of how well he rolled for his perception to look at this thing.
I feel like they would
hey.
probably notice me looking above and being like, hey.
And that's why I said,
You guys
depending
see
on
that?
how obvious you were about it,
Yeah.
they would have pointed it out.
My eyes implode.
I
I
suppose.
got a 16.
A 16?
Yeah.
Lucas, were you rolling or not?
I was gonna roll for, like to see if, notice if there was any increased security or battlements or defensiveness, but I rolled a 4,
Okay.
so
Okay.
my eyes imploded.
Rooklyn, you do recognize this symbol from studying you've done in the past. This is the emblem of the Order of Seraph. Which, unfortunately, isn't too much that you know about them.
Can you spell that for me? The serif part.
Yeah, give me a second. Let me bring that up in my notes.
Font.
Yep.
Because offhand, my brain does not remember how to spell it. No, it's on this computer. Seraph.
Like the angel.
Seraphim.
Shorthand serif, my guy.
But what you do know about them is they were active through most of the First Age into the beginning of the Second, and then they kind of just disappeared.
Interesting.
But what you know about them is they were, according to the stories, a group that helped the taming of the wilderness. Supposedly they are the ones that fought the primordial dragons during the First Age. But that's most of what you know. But it is not an emblem you would have expected to see here. Yep.
Okay.
In that case, if there's nothing else that you all are doing, you're being brought into the bottom of the lighthouse.
We made it, boys.
He continues over towards the stairs, but the bottom floor here, you see more of the crates of that, what you assume is going to be red mist, if you were to open them. But not terribly many. It looks more like these were pulled aside for a different reason. But he continues on up the stairs. And he'll stop and wait for you if you're doing anything.
All right, quick side huddle, guys.
Okay.
Little side huddle.
Yeah.
So couple things. That symbol. Yeah, apparently those guys used to fight dragons and stuff. So I don't know where they got this lighthouse. Because it's pretty old. So that's something.
Yeah.
Also, I talked to angels. Just throwing that out there, just a heads up.
Oh.
I immediately
just
gently
just one,
put the back of
really.
my hand against Wilkham's forehead to see if he's running a fever.
Just the one, really. Anyway.
Have you spoken to this angel recently?
Yeah, not too long ago. Long story short, we need to be real careful here so we don't die, was her general message to me. So maybe don't try to stab things. Okay? Maybe just keep our heads down.
Can I strategically stab things? Not necessarily people, but things?
I wouldn't. At least not yet. We'll put that on the back burner. Maybe save that for a future visit.
As long as it's in the warming oven, I'm fine.
What?
He's making a
Said
joke
back
about
burner.
the back burner.
Oh. Well, yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's all I had for a little side huddle.
Okay. I'll keep my weapon sheathed.
But yeah, he is waiting for you at the stairs.
Can Can I crack open one of the crates?
He doesn't stop you.
Yeah.
Matrix, I wouldn't touch anything.
But I want to see.
I know, but like, what if it's like
But
splody?
What if
it is splody?
exactly? That's why we need to find out.
What if the crate is splody?
Oh,
You're not resistant to splode.
I'm resistant to
Also that,
frightened.
also that little side huddle we just had kind of went over not touching things or being suspicious, so we don't die.
You said no stabbing things. Not
You know, I
stabbing
That
thought it
them.
includes stabbing them with your
Flying.
fingers. That includes stabbing
thought
them
it-
with your
I thought-
fingers.
I thought the whole "don't mess" thing, keep it subtle so we don't die thing, kind of covered, you know, breaking into their stuff too. So
Alright.
like,
Atrix, I'm
keep
not
it-
going to
keep it
stop
on
you.
the keep
Alright.
it on the down low.
You're a half-grown
Okay.
adult.
Hey,
Case in point.
Keep it on
What?
the down low.
I will not touch the crate.
Okay. You think
Okay,
strongly
fair.
about touching the crate and then decide against it.
Yes.
Fair enough.
All right.
Atrix just standing there, just like, I want to touch it.
Just sitting here like.
Again, he's just waiting for y'all on the stairs, so
We should probably go.
We will proceed.
okay. It's not a traditional like spiral staircase like you'd expect. It is along each wall. It goes up one floor. So you can
That seems
walk
efficient.
you can walk it in a single thing all the way up if you wanted to. But it isn't like in the center going up.
Sounds efficient. Ever so slightly.
The second floor doesn't really have much of note on it. It looks like it was a living quarters at some point that is still maintained but not well used. The third story is, I guess you'd call it a trophy room of sorts. There are a lot of things in here. Of different
I like
types.
things.
Well, like I said, it's a trophy room, so everything from hunting trophies to different weapons and armors. But yeah. I see a twitching eyebrow and a
That is
wide-eyed...
legitimately a slight muscle spasm. Don't mind it.
Don't worry, guys. I underlined that one in my notes.
Thanks, because I want to come back to this room and pillage.
Yeah, me too. But that's gonna be a future.
Mhm.
That's gonna be a future thing. That's why I underlined it.
You
Okay.
don't want to stab.
There's 2 more floors that you pass through without any real... Nothing of any terrible interest. One of them looks like it is a model of the actual tower itself, complete with the lighthouse on top of it. You know, kind of like you might see in like a visitor center type place. This is apparently one of the models for building this building to begin with. Complete with little tiny floating airships around it. And the last one is mostly empty. There is a singular device in the middle of it. It looks like it at one point had multiple people that could sit around it. In the center of it is a crystal that as you're walking around the side to go to the next staircase, you can see each facet seems to function as if it was cut off from the rest of the crystal. You don't see the rest of the crystal through each facet. And then you
I
are
want
brought...
that crystal.
It's pretty big. Like I said, it's sitting as a centerpiece in a device that looks like it had several people sit around it.
Will it fit in a bag of holding?
Probably not, because the bag of holding's
Damn.
opening is not probably big enough to get the whole crystal in. So, probably not.
Well, there goes all my plans. All right, continuing.
Okay. That brings you to the final floor. This would be the one directly below where the light is. So the only thing above this would be the actual functional light piece. And the little walkway around it.
Mm-hmm.
In this room, there is a ladder you can see that leads up to that, but no longer stairs. This room, the floor has a pattern carved into it of a compass rose. Sorry, my phone just blew up. Is there anything important? No.
Is it a wood floor or stone floor?
Stone.
Stone. Okay.
Yeah. This whole
I'm
structure so
assuming all
far
of
has
it
been
is
stone.
Stone.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it has that carved into the floor. But the room is actually very nicely furnished. There is statues in here, a couple of armor stands with like full... From the looks of it, it's probably ceremonial more so than useful armor on them.
Baked plate type of stuff.
Mm-hmm. There is a large table set to one side. A couple of throw rugs that cover up parts of the pattern carved into the floor. There is a bar off to the one side.
Really?
Yep. It looks fully stocked from what you can see.
Don't suppose they happen to have a rabbit bartender, do they?
No, they do not. There is nobody sitting behind the bar.
Unfortunate.
Open bar?
Self-serve?
There is
We'll find out. We'll find out, yeah.
several bookshelves against the far wall. And a single coffin
Oh,
laying on a pedestal
Oh.
towards those
That's-
bookshelves.
less than preferable.
Seated in one of the chairs at the table is a single human woman.
Could we presume her name to be Isla?
I'm going to say if you say that, she just nods. And gestures for you to join her at the table.
Very good. I will join her at the table.
Yeah,
I
me
will
too.
sit down with her at the table.
Oh, there was one other thing in the room.
Oh.
There is another crystalline device in the center of the room.
Really?
Yep.
Is it the same as the one below?
No.
Or was it different?
This is a stone pedestal that comes up to a singular box-shaped crystal sitting on top of it. It looks like it is probably slightly inlaid into this pedestal. It's bigger than that.
Okay.
But
Rubik's Cube.
it is... I mean, it's a cube. Like, it's a good-sized cube.
It's a large
Okay.
Rubik's Cube.
Rooklyn, you would be the only one with your passive perception that would have noticed it walking in here. That pedestal has the same emblem carved into it.
It's a dish that has an egg
That's the same emblem you say.
Yep. The Order of Seraph's emblem is carved into that pedestal.
With the crystal?
Mm-hmm. Rooklyn's the only one that has noticed it, because he's the only one with high enough passive.
Can I do a perception check of the room? Just like, not for the symbol or crystal or anything, just
Yeah.
for like anything out the ordinary? Yikes. Okay, that's a 6, so.
It's a room
Lady.
with the things that I described in it.
Good job.
Or should I say, it appears empty.
Who the fuck is this bitch?
Atrix he just actively repressed everything that he could see. Everything that he just saw, he just... What's going on, guys? Where'd everyone go?
But no. Like I said, she gestured for you to sit at the table. And the butler-like gentleman actually is the one that walks over behind the bar at this point. And she just looks at the three of you and... Can I offer you a drink?
Yes, please.
I would love one.
Jack on the rocks.
Okay.
Surprise me.
So that's a 26 total stealth, specifically to 17 perceive everything that man does with any of those drinks.
Okay. He's watching the guy making the drinks to make sure he doesn't do anything hinky.
Yeah.
But no, he seems to make the drinks exactly as ordered. A whiskey on the rocks that he brings over to Atrix. A unidentified alcoholic substance that he brings over to Rooklyn. Since it's just a... You saw him grab a couple of types of alcohol and start mixing stuff.
No, that's not what I'm... Lucas never gave an order, so I'm trying to think of what Lucas would order. Just an ale of some kind.
Okay.
A simple beer.
And he pours you a glass of ale.
Lovely.
Out of one of several casks that are over there. It's a pretty nice bar. And he sets all the drinks out in front of you. Notably does not give her anything.
I'm not gonna do it. Would you like a drink?
Holy water?
Do you
I'm not
actually...
gonna
I was going to say...
No.
Do you actually do that?
No. She is much too powerful for me to do any kind of foolery with splashing her, offering her a drink.
Yeah, she is.
Probably
But-
shouldn't continue the trend in this moment.
Yeah.
Though I assume you did it to Sabastion, even though you weren't there. You, as a player, were not there. I like to assume that Atrix still splashed Sabastion with it, only to find out afterwards that he was in fact a vampire and it did nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
should probably really get that checked.
But after you get your drinks, she just kind of looks over the three of you for a moment. To what do I owe this unexpected pleasure?
Brooklyn,
A quick
you know
sidebar.
what to do.
Does anyone remember what we told the guards downstairs to get up
Not
here?
in the slightest.
I believe you were here looking for work.
Because I don't
Yeah.
remember. I thought I wrote it down, but I did not.
I believe you said you were here looking for work.
That would be
Okay.
that would make the most sense. But
But
Brooklyn,
I honestly
give her,
don't
give her the
remember.
Okay.
give her the rundown.
So the name's Brooklyn. I'm a drifter, just blew into town.
I know that wasn't it.
Anyway, we're a little group of adventurers, drifters, ruffians, whatever term you want to use, looking for some security work. Thought you might be interested in having our help.
She kind of looks a lot of you
And
over for a
then I'll
minute.
take a nice little sippy sip of whatever liquid they gave me.
Okay. It's pretty good. It's surprisingly fruity
Mm.
with it. Think of it like a fruity Long Island.
Ooh. Sorry, you piqued my interest.
Gassy.
So it doesn't taste as much like a tea per se, but it is very fruity and doesn't really taste like alcohol.
Fancy.
But you know there's alcohol in it because you watched him.
I would like to sniff mine.
Smells like whiskey.
Cool. I'm gonna drink it.
Tastes like whiskey.
Cool.
Good whiskey, but it tastes like whiskey.
Good whiskey? Like expensive whiskey?
Like Atrix has probably never afforded this good of whiskey.
Ah, okay. I'm gonna drink it and request another.
Lucas is going to,
gets
throughout
you
the
another one.
conversation, strategically keep his hand on the glass handle if it's a mug,
Mhm.
and every so often act like he's gonna drink it, but kind of do this number and just set it down.
You do that. But no. You can see her, like, looking over the three of you after you've made your... You were here for work pitch, basically. And she just kind of sits up a little bit straighter. And the... Oh? What did you have in mind? You said security. What are your skills?
Yeah, security. Well, I talk a lot.
I got this really cool bow that I can just like, you know.
He talks more than he should.
How tall is the ceiling in this room?
Lucas can fly.
Um,
I think, right, Lucas? You can fly.
Yes, but
it is
So Lucas
probably
can fly.
not tall enough that you could comfortably fly in here.
that's not what I was gonna do.
But it's
if-
probably a good...
If, let's say, a dagger was propelled from my hand to the ceiling, could I retrieve it with relative ease?
You'd probably have to use your wings to boost you up a little bit to grab it, but yes.
Okay. Then, in a show of flair, I would like to effectively, very quickly, quietly, but again with a flair, throw my dagger into the ceiling without making much of a movement as best I can.
Okay.
To express my ability to be quiet as well as deadly.
Rather
would you
than
like?
have you roll a regular, attack roll, roll a performance.
I'm gonna keep it more simple than that and just cast light, because
That was
I
an
can just
8.
cast light.
Okay.
With a
It
11 sleight of hand.
I was gonna say it sticks into the ceiling, but it's not nearly as impressive as you wish it was.
That's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna
Can
keep
I
it more
do,
simple. Just cast light.
It just falls down and oh shit. I'll pay for that.
I mean, you did just try and throw a dagger into a stone ceiling, so
Are there windows
right.
or doors in this room?
there are some crystalline windows.
I assumed there was
they-
like at least wood beams or something.
Are they like unlocked?
No, they look like they're part of the wall.
Oh, part of the wall. Oh,
Like there are windows, but these are like parts of the stone that have a crystalline appearance rather than stonework.
are there like lanterns?
Yeah.
Like lit lanterns?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna use my cantrip. Thaumaturgy?
Thaumaturgy. Okay.
Thaumaturgy?
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm going to use that to cause flames to flicker, brighten, dim, or change color for 1 minute. I'm going to change them to the color of blue. Blue flames.
Okay. Despite the spells being cast and the weapon being drawn and thrown into the ceiling, she doesn't flinch at any of it. She just kind of goes, I see. Goes, a spellcaster, a flying knife thrower, and a
Close enough.
archer with the ability to change flames colors.
Yeah, we're not
That's
really
right.
sure what the trick is either. I'm gonna be honest. He's kind of a question mark this whole time. He's been helpful, but he's kind of a question mark. He's a real gamble if you bring us on. I'm gonna be honest.
So, Joe, you
he
said I
does
had a
good.
decent
Does
view
good work.
of the bartender while he was making Rooklin's drink.
Yeah.
Was he relatively quick?
Yeah.
Like impressively quick?
Impressively quick, no, but quick.
Okay. Would I, with my perception and all that, be able to tell either the amount of alcohols that he put in his drink and or the types of alcohols based on their labels?
It was a lot of alcohol. In fact, I don't think you saw him put anything other than alcohols in there. The types, some of them you knew, some of them were either the label was obscured or just hard to spot.
Okay.
Or some of them looked old enough that the label might just not be there anymore.
Sure.
So, less certain as to which alcohols are in there. But they were all pulled from various alcohol bottles.
Okay. So I would like to, while she's kind of describing us or whatever, after she finishes, interject and say, I might be mediocre at throwing knives, but I saw your guy put X amount of alcohols in my buddy's drink. Describe the few that I was able to tell. And just kind of sit there.
And she kind of looks over to him for a moment and goes, "Is he right?" And the butler just kind of nods and goes, "Yeah. I mean, he missed," and he names off like 2 or 3 others that were the ones that you couldn't tell the names of.
Yeah, well.
But the amounts were right.
So I got that going for him.
She goes, "Oddly enough, more impressive than your knife skills."
Yeah, well, you know, that happens. Man of many talents.
I make my own tea.
Don't drink his tea.
She kind of looks at you for a second and goes, "Interesting.
Would you
No.
like a sip?
No.
I'm going to have to pass."
No.
Nonchalantly doing this number.
Pass.
Okay.
Pass. Definitely pass on this tea. He's the only one that drinks it. He's
I don't
weird.
even know if he drinks it.
I
Oh,
don't
I'm
drink
sure
it.
he does.
I
I'm
do
sure
not.
he does.
I don't even drink it. I feel like
Oh,
I
God.
would just like sit there and like unscrew the cap and just like sniff it and just go like, and then just like cap it, put it back in my pocket.
Alright, well, she declines anyway. And just, I'm not much of a tea drinker.
Fair enough.
And she kind of looks and thinks for a minute. "I believe I may have a use for you. But I must consult with some others before offering you anything permanent."
Reasonable. Understandable.
That's understandable.
Like you said, we're just drifters, just kind of blew into town.
Eh, You know. Somehow ended up here, and well, you know how the city works. You can't really leave once you're here, so gotta find something to do to kill the time.
She kind of nods. "Yes. Though... No, I've said more on that than I should already." And kind of leans back for a moment and goes, "Return in 3 days' time. It will give me enough time to discuss with my associates if we have a permanent position here for you or not. Until then, you will have safe passage through the airport or through the skyports. But the rest of the city is not under my control. So be wary where you travel."
Yeah, kind of learned that one.
That is good to know. Good to know.
Mhm.
A lot of interesting characters in this city. Already figured that one out. Last damn time I ever come looking for some old dude. But you know, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, she just kind of smiles and goes, "It has been a pleasure meeting each and every one of you."
Pleasure to meet you too.
Pleasure. I finally take a sip of my ale, but just a sip.
Okay. But she kind of just makes a gesture for you to leave.
All right.
I guess we'll be hitting the old dusty trail for 3 days.
Alright. The butler moves to escort you out, but she kind of just puts up a hand, goes, I'm sure they know their way. It's not like it's a particularly difficult trek back down. I have need of you elsewhere. And she gestures for him to come over at the table while gesturing at you that you may go, and just says, and I will see you three in 3 days' time.
All right.
And with that, she begins to converse with the butler.
We should probably doodle-doo.
Yeah, we should probably get going.
Do a little walking.
For 3 days.
Well,
Yeah.
not for the whole 3 days, but
Not
at
straight.
least out of her main little office area.
Yeah.
I'm interrupt the conversation. So.
Okay. So you start to descend again?
Yeah, I guess we do.
All right.
On our way back down, that floor with all of the weapons and armor and stuff. Is there anybody on? Is there anybody on that floor?
Not that you saw.
Before we get that far, can I do a check on the crystal-y thing on the next floor down?
Yes.
The one on the first.
If I know anything about it, the first crystal-y thing on the way up.
Yeah.
Not the one that's
Not the
in
one
her
that's
office.
actively in her office, but
yeah, the one
below it.
next story down or wherever it was. Yeah.
Sure. Roll
like-
Arcana. I'd also let you use history, but
Yeah, it's not gonna make a difference then.
Can I also
That's
do the same
18.
Arcana check?
That is an 18.
okay. If you wanted to take a look at the thing with him, yeah, go ahead and roll.
30-20.
30-20. Okay. You both walking around this device and looking at it. It seems to be, as you look into the different facets of the crystal, you see the different sides of the tower.
Like
You
the
can
outside?
see, yep. You can see the ships that are there.
Are you telling me this is the security system?
No, because the image is static. It doesn't look like anything's moving on it. But if you look in a side of the facet, you can see every ship that is on that side, and where they are in relative both to the tower and each other. Each of the little desks seems to have a set of runes inscribed into it that, best you can tell, allow them to communicate with the ships. You're not entirely sure how this thing works, but you can tell where ships are with it in relation to the tower and communicate to those ships. You would also notice with that high of a roll, only some of the ships seem to have names.
I'm assuming the big one has a name.
It does. I will have to look in my notes to see what it is, but yes, the big one does have a name. Most of the smaller ones do not. And a few of the very small ones do, again. Most of them are just mundane names, though. They're nothing particularly exciting.
So do these ones have the dreadnought on this crystal?
Yeah, you can see the dreadnought on the crystal.
Oh, yeah.
So it is correct from what you saw coming up here where the ships are in relation to the tower. It doesn't look like it has any kind of controls for like letting the ships go or bringing the ships and connecting the ships or anything like that. It looks like it was used to communicate to the ships and make sure they didn't hit each other or the tower. With that high of a roll, you'd also know that this thing was not as old as the rest of the building.
The crystal.
Yeah, this device here in this room is not as old as the building that it's in.
Right, so essentially, guys, we have found the air traffic control tower.
Correct.
So, guess that's something.
Oh, yes.
That's why I said it was too big for you to move. Is this crystal is big enough you can look into a side of it and see a side of this tower to scale.
Yeah, oh yeah. Kind of weird they don't just use windows, but you know, whatever, to each their own.
Well, you got to remember this was a city of mages. It was probably a mark of pride to have this doodad rather than use a mundane window.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every once in a while, you gotta Harry Potter the wizards and give them ridiculous things that really anyone else would come up with a better way of doing it, but I have magic, so I'm gonna do it this way. This is one of those items.
I guess let's go investigate the trophy room like Matrix wants to.
Okay. Yeah, you go down to the trophy room. You looking for anything in particular?
Anything that looks... Okay, off the bat, do I see anything that's like glowing or enchanted or like anything like that?
Can I use my Eldritch invocation thing to detect magic?
Yep. You do that. There are several magic things in here. There is a set of armor.
Kind of armor.
How well traveled is Atrix?
How well traveled?
Yeah.
Like street smart kind of thing?
No, like how many different places has he been?
Oh! Probably not many. I mean, he's mainly lived like among the woods, not really like big city areas.
You have never seen armor like this before.
Oh, great.
And the reason I say that is it looks like silken plate mail. It has that shine, and you can tell from kind of walking around, if you feel it, you can tell that it's not made of metal. It is something much softer. but it's displayed like armor. The look of it, the way it's connected, it looks like plate armor.
But it's like light.
Yeah.
And like.
But that is glowing.
Okay.
There is a sword hilt with no sword that's glowing. What else did I put in here? One of these days, I will get all of my notes actually in one place, so I don't have to look in 3 different places every time I need something.
I'm gonna take that sword hilt.
Maybe let's not take anything yet, because we need to come back in 3 days and see if we have a job.
Yeah.
What if it's gone in 3 days? What if someone buys it by then?
It's not a store.
It's a trophy room.
Can I, like, take it back up? Like, take the shit back up to her and be like, "Can I buy this?"
No.
I probably don't have enough gold, anyways.
That's legitimately
I
admitting
doubt
to
that you-
breaking and entering. You walk into somebody's house. Hey, can I buy your TV? While you like have it in hand.
The last thing that appears to be glowing in here is a single leather-bound tome.
All right.
But yeah. I'll have all of you roll perception for me while you're looking around in here.
That's the
12.
12?
13 from Lucas.
Okay.
$21.
21? Okay. Rooklyn, you're the one that would notice this for sure. Actually, yeah, you probably would all 3 notice it. Or notice the first bit at least. Everything in here is heavily covered in dust. This stuff has not been moved or touched in a while. Rooklyn, with as high a perception as you rolled, some of the animal trophies, you can tell that the animal trophies are old. Like, you know how taxidermy degrades after a while?
Yeah.
They're starting to do that. Actually, they've been doing that for a while. And it doesn't look like anyone has bothered to really upkeep it.
So we got a bunch of old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it ever so slightly less than mundane.
Yep.
Covered in El Dusto.
Yeah. Which means we can't sneak any of it out because it's covered in dust.
The floor is probably also covered in dust.
Yeah, and they're gonna notice if we start taking. Well, the floor can't be that covered in dust as long as, you know, we don't start wandering all over the damn place because they use the stairs to go up and down.
Yes, but this is a separate room, so if anyone's looking in,
I didn't think. Is it a separate room or is it like?
is it not?
Just kind of go.
So the stairs go around the outside, but they are kind of in like they are kind of in like their own walkway. So there is a space that can see this room from the stairs, but there's definitely stuff in this room that you can't see from that space. Think of it as there is a landing that you get to where you can choose to come into this room, or you can choose to continue in the staircase along the outside of the wall.
Okay.
The only room that you could see like the entirety of the staircase was the lowest room. That kind of entryway space. Yeah, it'd be that one, and then the room that had the air traffic control stuff had a railing instead of a wall. But the easiest way to keep people in a solid stone structure from having things move is walls.
Wow, yeah.
So the staircase is primarily walls. You can guess that the air traffic control room was probably altered to not have the wall so that people could see what was going on with the air traffic control stuff. The lower one was probably done as part of the original design for aesthetic effect. The rest of them were not altered. So, I would say with Rooklin's roll for perception, you would know that from that space, you would not be able to see the sword hilt or the tome, but you would be able to see the armor.
I don't know. What are you guys thinking?
Well, with all the information we have,
I still think our best bet is to come back and try to.
yes. However, I'm kind of the opinion we should attempt to either talk to Sabastion or.
Well, I just mean about this room specifically.
Yes. Out of here, lead it.
I think that's when if we come back, assuming that's what we end up planning to do, then we can potentially take stuff.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, I mean, we'll be
might
back
be
here.
He's the most roguish of us all.
One way or another, we'll be back, but you know. Okay, we'll continue on our way out then.
Okay.
I retract what I said about Sabastion. This woman's smart. She's got a decent amount of people. She could easily have us followed.
100%.
Okay,
Probably
then.
try to stay away from all of our good
Allies.
guy acquaintances
Mm-hmm.
back at Raven's Hollow there, and twiddle around the bar. Do the
the two that are currently waiting for us outside. I say we fuck them up. We might have to, guys. And we might have to keep our cover.
Were they in view of the? Did they come in with us?
No.
I don't recall.
No, they're outside waiting.
No,
for
I meant
us.
like come up to the tower with us and all that?
They had stayed back a ways out of sight.
No, they were outside of the actual building.
Yeah,
I was thinking we had them actually wait outside,
you did.
completely outside of the
Yeah,
tower.
they're scouts. They're gonna be. I wouldn't say it'd be uncommon, especially if we return to Raven's Hollow. I wouldn't say it'd be uncommon for them to be watching us, figuring out what the hell we're doing, as long as we don't
Well, yeah.
openly associate ourselves with.
Maybe not. Well, yeah. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like they would be smart enough to, like, if we're walking out of there and we're like, we notice them but are visually like not paying attention to them, they'd probably know, like, oh, we should probably not run up to
Well,
them.
yeah. Well, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Then you make it
Well,
back.
it took-
Huh?
I was gonna say, didn't it take us a while to get here though from Raven's Hollow?
It takes a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Because you have to walk through a good chunk of the city.
I mean, we could just hang out at the Skyport for 3 days.
I mean, yeah, I was thinking that we could just
She
find
did
like
say
an
you would be
abandoned
safe there.
building.
Do you want to go chill in that warehouse where we tied up those dudes?
That's what I
and
was
knocked them out?
thinking.
Well, maybe
Maybe
not
not that
one.
warehouse, but maybe a different
See-
warehouse.
See if they'll hang with us, play some cards, throw some dice. Not, you know.
As a note, because this would have happened earlier today for your characters, but was a while ago for the real world versions of us. You did tell those guys you were going to try and kill her and take over.
Hmm.
Yeah, we might want to go redact that, guys.
We should probably go.
Probably
So-
kill them,
Started-
honestly.
We might
We're
want to
trying
go
to-
clear up.
our-
We might want to go clear up that misunderstanding. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's why I
It's just
said,
kinda
as,
good.
as a note, I am not the type of DM that's going to tell you, hey, you motherfuckers didn't write it down, so gotcha.
We
We should probably go.
yeah, we might want to address that.
Yeah, let's go tie up some loose ends.
No, they're already tied
Well,
up.
they're already- the
was gonna say,
the ends are
they're-
the ends are tied. We just have to
Cut
remove
them
the
loose. Yeah, we just have to cut them loose from their mortal bodies,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then hide their leftovers.
Yeah.
Let's go
Alright,
do
let's
that.
let's go do that first and foremost. I feel like that's probably pretty important, so we don't fuck ourselves.
Since we choked him out.
And it's
Yeah,
been a
so
while
we're,
since
like-
you choked him out, so you don't know
So-
what you're coming back to.
Yeah, let's hurry.
Let's
back
double.
to-
Yeah,
time it.
we might want to make that one a little hustle.
Okay.
Never so slightly nonchalant hustle as best we can.
Just a nice little healthy jog, you know, nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Back to the warehouse.
Okay. It takes you a while, of course, to get down and out of the tower, because it's still a slow elevator. But you do get all the way back down to the bottom, back out. You run over to the second largest tower in the Skyport, where you left 3 individuals tied up probably about 3 hours ago. Give or take a
Could
little
still
bit.
be unconscious.
They could be. But, they're not here. It is worth noting that the ropes you left them in are also not here.
And we didn't see them on the way.
Nope.
We should start
I told-
looking.
I told you guys we should have killed him.
Hey,
No.
listen. All right, so it was either choke them out and go or kill them and go, and we chose choke them out because it was against our better judgment to kill them.
So that's either a 21 investigation or a 19 perception to start tracking. See if anything happened here.
Okay.
Per se, I can run a survival if you'd like as well, specifically to track them.
If you decide to end up tracking them, I'll have you do that, but...
Right now I'm looking for notes of direction, notes of struggle, other people, whatever.
As you look around, this room... You remember there being an awful lot more crates in here. But you don't see, like, any noticeable... You don't see any ropes cut. So, if someone came in and moved the crates, they did not cut their buddies free and leave the ropes laying around.
Okay.
But there are definitely crates missing.
Like a significant number, or like 2 or 3 type thing?
I would say it's readily noticeable.
Oh.
There was a lot of them in here, and there is significantly less.
I like that even less. We might want to back out of this place.
Yeah, but we need to find them, like, quick, fast, and in a hurry, so we don't...
You never went up this tower, either.
That's true.
We should at least clear this tower. If anything, we need to clear it. Make sure they're not just upstairs. Alright, second floor.
Okay.
Open flash and clear on Zulu.
Yep. As you go up the tower here, second floor, it is set up as a full living quarters for probably about half a dozen people. Nobody here, though. This has definitely been used, though.
You know, guys, hypothetically, if they're gone, we could just let them be gone. I mean, what's the worst?
We're scared of failing old girl. So they might have ran away.
What's the worst that happens? I mean...
It's their word against ours.
Lie.
All right, push comes to shove, right here. They let's say they went back to.
Let's check out the
right?
rest of the tower, right? Let's check out the rest of the tower. But if they were going back to Hull, we would have seen them, most likely.
All right, 4-3.
Okay.
There's a spider on my shirt.
You get to the next level. This would have been one of the docking stations. It's in good shape, but nothing docked here.
Up.
Yep. Another floor.
Sorry.
Another docking area. Empty as
No
well.
homies. Up.
There's one more.
Up.
Up.
You get up there. Brooklyn, you're the one that notices it.
Is my passive so low? It is kind of low.
Brooklyn's is also 15, so his is
mine's
ungodly high compared to everyone else's.
Mine is just really high.
On the far wall, across from where you all came up, there is a single piece of parchment. About with a spike hammered into the wall through it. Otherwise, the rest of the floor seems empty.
What's that?
Guess I'll investigate the parchment.
I will also walk up to it and see what is, if there is anything written on it.
Oh, there is.
It's a symbol.
It's not.
Okay.
But in a familiar handwriting, based on some notes you were given the other day, you see a note addressed to Isla Seaton.
In common?
Yeah.
Okay.
From a certain Sabastion.
Oh.
I feel better.
Basically, he is taunting her. He is, destroyed apparently a good-sized shipment of her red mist. And absconded with several of her employees.
Thanks, Seb.
Which,
You really dodged a bullet on that one.
he says he will be attempting to re-educate. As well as, you know, deal with the withdrawals of having been heavily influenced by red mist. But yeah, basically it is a fuck you note to Isla from Sabastion.
Taking your stuff and her employees.
I'm breaking a bunch of your shit and taking your things.
Hey, I suppose we should probably take that with us, give it to her when we see her again, huh?
That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Or give it
As
to one of the guard people if there's one of the guard people around to give it to.
Who wants to take it?
I'll take it.
You'll take it?
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Alright.
It is 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
We're relatively safe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to suggest we press pause, hit save game, and reload in another week, 2 weeks.
I second that.
Alright. In that case, we will leave it for there. Good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Okay.